Hi everybody, it's Dr. Joni Liu and welcome to today's Facebook Live session, and I'm going to be talking about staying skinny while you're eating fat, and because you need some fat in your diet so that, well, in a nutshell, it's going to keep you skinny, because that's one of the myths about eating fat. Remember a few weeks ago I was talking about the story about how this whole cholesterol myth started? That people were saying that dietary saturated fat was bad for you, that it was bad for the heart and all this. And quite frankly, there was a researcher who came out and told the WHO, his name is Ansel Keys, a Swedish guy, I believe, and he announced at WHO about how bad it was due to his own research, and that the American Heart Association was looking for answers because they didn't know why at the time heart disease was rising. So ever since then, so this is in 1955, so it's been what, 60 years 60 years, wow, that this myth has been around. And really it's been the cause of this epidemic in obesity, and definitely the number of heart attacks hasn't gone down, okay? So it's still one of the major killers, and it's not because people are lazy, and it's not because people are eating too much. I really feel that in this day and age that a lot of people are so aware and are trying to do the best that they can, and they're exercising and they're dieting and they're still getting fat, So it comes down to one of the mechanisms where people, well, are eating very low fat diets and high carbohydrates, and then there's the high fat and low carbohydrate faction. So there's these two different groups that are saying, you should be doing this and doing that, but really it comes down to what your actual individual needs are. And I'm a real advocate of individualized and customized diets, because your diet isn't going to be the same as your spouse's or any one of your kids or your neighbors. It's just like medicine, well, food is medicine. and since you're eating it all the time, every day of your life, then you really have to be very very conscious of the information that feeding your mind, okay? So the whole myth about fat is actually creating more obese people because you're hungrier all the time. So because you're hungrier all the time, it's like the body starts storing fat because you're starving it, okay? So that's just a basic fact. And of course you're probably always thinking about food too, so it's much better to actually add some saturated fat to your diet at every meal or most of your meals, so that you're not constantly hungry. The thing is that with the blood types, there really is very specific protocol, okay? So for blood type O, you actually can digest and assimilate saturated fats really well. The same thing with blood type Bs. You can also assimilate meats very well. With blood type As and ABs, not so much. So with blood type A and AB, you would get your saturated fats from vegetable sources, peanuts, eggs, cheese, yogurt, not so much the whole cow's milk. I mean, whole cow's milk isn't really good for anyone's digestion. It's very unnatural. Goat milk would actually be a much better choice. Goat cheese, goat milk, goat feta and make sure it really is the real thing, okay? Because there's it's the same thing, the same controversy that's going on with so-called Greek yogurt. There's a lot of companies that claim that they make Greek yogurt, but it isn't. It's just very ordinary yogurt. So make sure that the stuff that you're getting really is from Greece. So the thing is that you have to start eating some saturated fats or fats in each meal, so that you are satisfied at each meal, so that your stomach talks to your brain all the time and it tells it, okay, I am full. Now, some of the other things that you could be doing in order to keep your weight at a very good level is to actually eat just 3 meals a day, but you are doing things like very simple meals, okay? So having just 2 different food groups in each meal, okay? So say a protein, whether it's plant or animal, with a whole bunch of leafy green vegetables such as kale, collard greens, broccoli. For the avid and elite athletes in the group, you know, in my viewership, I do not recommend that you eat a lot of spinach, because spinach has something called oxalic acid in it, which actually prevents the calcium from being absorbed into your body, okay? So all the other greens are much better for you in that way. So kale, collard greens, broccoli, you know, those, you know, expand your diet. So the only times I have spinach is in a restaurant, if that is the only choice that I have, or, you know, or I won't choose a salad, I'll have more vegetables in a restaurant, okay? Because that's what I did the other day. You know, because usually in a restaurant, and so you can eat simply in a restaurant too. Basically what I did on my trip this past weekend was I ordered chicken and it had a mushroom sauce, okay? So there's plant and animal protein. And the woman asked me if I wanted to have, you know, potatoes, fries. Didn't want that. Whether I wanted a bread, and I said I didn't want that either. So I ejected all the carbohydrates, all those types of carbohydrates out, you know, so they're starchy. And she said, okay, I'll give you more vegetables. And so that was great. I really like that. So vegetables with the protein, whether it's animal or plant, is the best way to eat. And so let's say in the morning you just have eggs, okay? I mean, you can have eggs anytime during the day. You know, quiche is a perfectly good thing, you know, when it's got broccoli and mushrooms in it with the egg. So you still got that fat in there, and you still have the vegetables in there as well. So those are examples of what you can do to make your digestion easier, so that you can keep the weight off and feel a lot less bloated and a lot more satisfied with your meals. It's really that simple, okay? So you have to question all the things that are being spouted out there, because there is no such thing as evidence-based medicine, okay? There is no such thing as evidence-based medicine, because they are still experimenting. They haven't got absolute answers, but there are absolute answers in a 5,000-year-old medical paradigm such as the one that I practice, and there's a lot more wisdom. I mean, we have so much knowledge, but they don't use it very well. They don't know what to do with all this fantastic knowledge. And so I look at the research and I can see where the flaws are, because it's, as soon as it's one size fits all for everybody, I know that it's not a good thing, okay? So we have to watch out for things like this. So, okay, so that's what I have for you this week. Starting next week, I'm going to be back on my Facebook page, broadcasting from there, because I feel that I can reach more people that way, okay? So starting next week, I'm going to be on my Facebook page, DRJ Liu, DRJLIU. So that's where I'm going to be. And I'm also going to be trying out something new and putting captions and subtitles into my videos after we download and upload them. So this is going to be something new. It'll be easier for people to actually read and follow. So I'm really looking forward to doing something really new and exciting with my videos as well. Okay? So talk to you soon. Bye.